Howard gets it in, but it's knocked away by Lexie Hull. Hull with the steal. And the Indiana Fever, beset by major injuries all year long, are on the doorstep of making the semifinals.
This was a gut check moment. Win or go home. 6 players down, frustration from blown calls, and zero margin for error. Could Indiana handle the pressure? In Game 3 against the Atlanta Dream, they proved it. Kelsey Mitchell attacked late. Aaliyah Boston battled in the paint, and Lexie Hull made the play of her life. The Fever rose to the challenge and punched their ticket to the semifinals for the first time since 2015. The question is, was this just one magical night, or the spark that marks the Fever's long-term rise? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's go.
So much this season, giving ourselves another chance in Game 3. Emotions are high.
This is a group that's confidence has really never wavered. This group has continued to show their heart, their character, night in and night out.
I think we all piggyback off each other within our group and our organization.
We've been in every kind of situation you can imagine, and we've been able to find ways to put ourselves in position to win, and this will be no different.
Somebody has to lose and somebody has to win.
Nearly 10 years without a playoff series win. That's not just a stat. It's a weight on a franchise, on fans, and every player who puts on a jersey. The last time Indiana made it this far, Tamika Catchings was a heart of the team, Natasha Howard was just starting out, and Stephanie White was in her first stint as head coach. That was 2015. The WNBA looked different. Fast forward, and this Game 3 wasn't just basketball. It was history asking if the Fever were ready.
We talked about the desperation before Game 2 on Tuesday. Just how does that carry over into tonight?
Well, I think anytime that you're a win or go home situation, there's desperation. And so it has to carry over. We're in the same situation. Our back is against the wall. We got to come out and we've got to play with that sense of urgency. We've got to play with that hunger. We've got to value every single possession and every single opportunity.
The roster made this even tougher. Caitlin Clark sidelined. Sophie Cunningham out. Sydney Colson unavailable. Chloe BBY, Ari McDonald, and Dyrus Dantas all injured. That's a huge chunk of talent and leadership gone. Suddenly, this wasn't just another playoff night. It was survival. With no outside expectations, the Fever leaned on fight and chemistry. Ironically, that doubt became their edge. They had no choice but to battle.
Now, this one on Lexie Hull got me riled up because this was early on in the game, and this was probably the best defense that Lexie could have played. If you watch this play here, Ryan Howard is going down. Lexie Hull's guarding her. Ryan goes behind her back. Lexie doesn't touch her because she's backpedaling the whole time. She has her hands straight up. Like, this is really good defense that Lexie played here.
Game 1 still burned in their memory. Phantom whistles, momentum-killing calls, even a tech on their coach. Everyone saw the frustration. They didn't forget. They carried that sting into Game 3 and used it as fuel. This was about redemption after being robbed of a fair shot.
Indiana Fever are heading to the semifinals.
See, driving to the foul line and the paint, lays it in. Sims crossover left to right, gets into the paint, layup, good.
Inside, Boston.
Pre-game interviews told the story. Kelsey Mitchell looked locked in, ready to carry the scoring load. Aaliyah Boston spoke softly but with unshakable confidence, prepared to fight inside. On paper, Atlanta had the edge. Healthy roster, home court crowd, momentum. But Indiana wasn't just battling the dream. They were battling a decade of frustration, 6 missing teammates, and the belief they couldn't win. In that storm, they chose fight over fear. And when the buzzers sounded, it paid off.
To Jones. Throws it up.
No good! Game over! And the Fever are moving on!
Kelsey Mitchell was Indiana's heartbeat. Atlanta threw double teams and packed the paint, but she still poured in 24 points, 19 of them before halftime. That early burst kept Indiana alive. And even when shots were cut off, she found other ways to contribute. Assists, blocks, hustle. Under constant pressure, Mitchell never faded. She just kept attacking, and her teammates fed off her fire.
Has picked up her second foul, so Hillman and Gray each with 2. Mitchell over the Boston screen.
And that was tough, her hands. But going back to that ball screen here, little movement in the first part of that screen by Aaliyah Boston.
Mitchell, man, she is so good.
Inside, Aaliyah Boston wrote her own story. Matched up with Bree Jones, she absorbed it after hitting the post, but never broke. Jones had the size advantage, but Boston neutralized it with timing, positioning, and smart seals.
Attacking from the outside and now the inside. And Mitchell's been quiet for a while. Not anymore. Mitchell over to Boston. Again, the shot clock winding down. Mitchell, tough shot off the bounce to get around Jones.
2 steps behind the 3-point line and the dribble handoff for Kelsey Mitchell.
Her stat line, 14 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, barely captured her impact. Every rebound was in traffic. Every assist came under pressure. She anchored an undersized, undermanned lineup with poise beyond her years.
For Atlanta has not been good. 40%. Maybe a little higher than that, 45.
Indiana electing not to call a timeout. Boston almost gave it away. Into Boston for the lead. She hits it. Indiana goes up.
Boston gets it. Mitchell is denied, but then Jordan Canada falls. Bree Jones almost gets it, but that's a second defender that's gone down, and Bree Jones.
Then came Natasha Howard. She didn't need flash to shine. Loose balls that seemed gone, she chased them down. Extra possessions that shouldn't exist, she created them. Her relentless hustle gave Indiana second chances, and her energy bled into everyone around her.
That Aaliyah Boston has to really body up with Bree Jones in that situation.
Natasha Howard slashing in. Sims got around the Ryan Howard reach to find Natasha Howard.
The court, Odyssey Sims has 7 points, 3 assists. She's looking to attack.
Brianna Turner stepped up big. Not always a rotation staple, she was essential here, contesting shots, reading plays, plugging gaps. She gave Indiana a backbone when fatigue and foul trouble hit. Turner's readiness let others breathe and shine.
A complete skill set in all that she can do.
It's the first miss for Atlanta as Howard could not get it to go. Odyssey Sims, this is what head coach Stephanie White wants from Odyssey. Gray with 10 points so far. Sims dribbled right into trouble and was able to score and get fouled.
Aerial Powers was a spark plug. Her limited minutes changed the game's energy. She dove on the floor, fought through screens, and brought fire to every possession. You can't track that in a box score, but her hustle was contagious. The Fever's bench defense and intensity all rose when she checked in.
Reiner posting up, setting a screen ultimately that Shea Penny ran into.
Anytime Atlanta needs a bucket, they look to her, and she's wanting the ball as well with the last score for Atlanta.
Possession by possession, Indiana clawed back. The Atlanta crowd was deafening, but the Fever stayed locked in. They weren't leaning on one star. They were piecing together grit from everywhere. And then the stage was set. A player who had struggled all night suddenly had the ball and a shot at history.
Another one of the signees because of injuries in the game. As we approach a minute to go, Aerial Powers in.
The bench.
All the injured players to not just cheerlead, but also to give advice to all the newbies. Big block by Powers.
Good help side by Aerial Powers.
For Lexie Hull, it was the toughest shooting night of her season. Open looks missed, jumpers rimmed out, frustration built. She stayed aggressive on defense, but offensively, it just wasn't her night. Still, she didn't quit. She stayed ready. Under 30 seconds left, the Fever trailed by 1. Kelsey Mitchell cut inside for a clutch layup off a Boston assist. Atlanta answered, but Indiana pushed back. The ball swung to Hull, wide open again. This time, she buried the 3. A whole game of frustration erased in one shot.
26% in the first 2 games.
Good help by Alicia Gray there on Howard.
Hull?
But it wasn't over. Atlanta had the ball with 7.4 seconds left. One clean pass could steal it all back. Everyone expected the dream to execute, but Hull read the play, lunged into the passing lane, and ripped the ball away, sealing the win with the biggest steal of her career.
A high ball screen has worked for Kelsey Mitchell, but that time she gives it up to Hull. And how about that shot by Lexie Hull?
That one play changed everything. The Fever weren't just surviving. They were moving on to the semifinals for the first time since 2015. Odyssey Sims iced it with free throw, but Hull's steal defined the series. It wasn't about stats. It was about resilience. On the night her shot abandoned her, she delivered the play that ended a decade-long drought.
Howard gets it in, but it's knocked away by Lexie Hull. Hull with the steal. And the Indiana Fever, beset by major injuries all year long, are on the doorstep of making the semifinals.
Picture the Fever's locker room. 10 years of frustration gone in one night. Mitchell embraced her teammates with tears of joy. Boston sat quietly, overwhelmed by the history she just made. Hull clutched the game ball like treasure. For vets like Turner and Sims, who've bounced around the league, it was validation that every minute mattered.
The Indiana Fever are heading to the semifinals of the WNBA for the first time in 10 years. Kelsey Mitchell said, all that we've got, and we have all that we need, cobbling together this roster, and here they are, about to be in the Final Four.
What you thought was impossible is possible. A team that has been devastated by injury, rallying on the road. One more time.
Even Caitlin Clark, sidelined by injury, was in the mix, cheering, waving towels, and posting in all caps, "Fever Show." This wasn't one star's win. It was a family. But Coach Stephanie White quickly reminded them, this was just step one. Waiting for them are the defending champs, Aya Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, and a stacked Las Vegas Aces squad. And Becky Hammond made it clear, you haven't seen the real Aces yet.
Y'all are a tough bunch of. I mean, I cannot even put into words how proud I am. It's like the toughness that it takes, like the gut checks that it takes. Like, y'all, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we've been through all of it, right? Yeah. So it doesn't matter the circumstance. It doesn't matter the score. It doesn't matter the time. You always put your best foot forward. You always get to the next play. And it's always someone different.
Indiana knows what's coming. They survived injuries, bad whistles, and elimination pressure. Now the giant awaits. But this wasn't just about advancing. It felt like a rebirth. 10 years of waiting ended with a team that refused to fold. Now it's Fever versus Aces. Can belief and toughness carry them further? Let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe. And don't miss the next chapter of this run.
You actually just referenced it twice. It is Indiana. Dropped 2 of the 3 games to them this year, but you haven't seen them since late July. What excites you about that matchup?
That they haven't seen the real Aces yet. They caught us when we were a bit in turmoil. Not only that, they whooped us one of those stretches. So, you know what? We'll buckle in, hone in where we can, and take care of business.